Hey, my name is ShawNshawN. I sell art on ShawNshawN.co and specials on eBay. Today we're going to review Uncut Gems. So this is a film by the Safi brothers. There's two brothers or cousins or something. And the film is 2 hours, 15 minutes, a little bit long. It does allow a lot of time to develop a lot of the characters in here. There's quite a few characters. You have Adam Sandler playing Howard Ratner, this gems dealer. Julia Fox is Julia, his girlfriend slash lazy worker at his shop. Kevin Garnett plays Kevin Garnett, an NBA star. The Weeknd, this rapper, plays The Weeknd, but he's also kind of this connection for selling gems for Howard. And Idina Menzel is Dina, the wife of Howard, that's kind of splitting up, but he's kind of saying, no, wait, hold on, not yet. He's kind of dragging out the divorce more. So it kicks off with Howard. He's this New York gems dealer. He's specialized in kind of selling to rappers and NBA stars. He gets a hold of this rare rock from Africa. I think it's in Ethiopia, and he's claiming, oh, it's from black Jews and everything. So that's his pitch line to the NBA star Kevin Garnett. It has like multiple gems in this rock. It's obviously uncut, so that hence the name Uncut Gems. It has this rare opal, so really cool looking. He borrows it out to Howard, he borrows it out to Kevin Garnett. He keeps it in his locker, and then he kind of assumes this kind of mystical belief in the rock, which causes him to play way better than when he doesn't have it. You know, Howard's character realizes, oh, I can gamble heavily on this guy, and he's this crazy gambling. So he realizes if Kevin Garnett has this special rock, he will play better. He can probably guess the game. And so he's an obsessive gambler. At the same time, he's a gems dealer. And his gambling is obviously throwing him for a loop, as well as cheating on his wife, is destroying his marriage. So he's kind of all over the place. One of the strange parts in this film, which is really minor, but it's the beginning and the end of the film, they have these kind of the end credits and the beginning credits. They have kind of a zoom in on the gem itself, which is fine in the beginning. It kind of feels like James Bond or something. You know how you go these mystical routes. And then the end is kind of a similar where they're going through the rock. I guess it ties the two ends, so it's a nice footer, but it feels a little bit strange, a little bit long. I think I could have kind of cut that down a little bit more. But again, it's very minor. But it draws out the end of the film kind of a little bit. It cuts it short with the story, which is kind of where, you know, like, oh, this is the end of the story, and then they have the zoom in, and you're like, why do they have all the zoom in? It doesn't have any point to the film in a way, except to tie it into the beginning. I did like that they tied in the beginning credit scene, but I don't know if it was necessary. Another strange part of this film, minor, very minor, is in some parts, the music, especially in the beginning, where Adam Sandler's doing the dealing back and forth, meeting all these people, and these people are harassing him for getting paid again, is they have the music a little bit high compared to the audio, and so you can't really follow the dialogue as well as you should. So I think it's just a tad high. They could have lowered that a little bit. Again, it's minor editing issues in the editing room. So yeah, the editing kind of needs a little bit of work on the audio, and maybe the end of the film is a little strange. But again, those are minor parts. The thing is, if you don't edit a film correctly at the end of a film, it can leave a bad taste and then kind of ruin it for the rest of the film. So I think if they had worked more in the ending to get this feeling right, it would have been a little bit better ending. It's fun. It's still very satisfying, but again, it's kind of a little bit of a miss, kind of a B plus on the editing side. There's a lot of fast camera angles, a lot of zoom ins, which you want to get because it's dealing with kind of the gems dealing, you know, this guy's ego versus that guy's ego. You owe this guy money, they're going to torture you. And so Howard's kind of in and out of all these different adventures. He owes this guy Rolex, you're going to take my watch, get another watch, borrows this guy's ring, pawns it off, and then he has to get the ring back. So it's like all these, like, he's like charity, he's like a shale dealer with all his money he's trying to generate to get this big score with this stone. Yeah, and I think another thing I liked about the film was this portrayal of Howard. I feel it's more realistic of what a gems dealer in New York City would be. I've seen other films where they play the traditional Hasidic Jews, and those also exist in New York City, and they're gems dealers as well. But I feel like Howard's character is a little bit more realistic in the sense, like, the longer you are in New York City, the more you're going to get swept away with all the money, the greed, you know, his gambling habits. So I think that's much more realistic. You know, between the two extremes, he's kind of like more what you gel as a character with. And it was really interesting to see kind of this Jewish baller. He's kind of got girlfriend and everything, and, you know, the money's corrupt him. That's kind of an interesting thing because you normally don't see Jews in films as kind of a baller kind of type. You really normally see them as kind of persecuting the Holocaust or very conservative roles. So this is kind of a nice, refreshing look at Jews, I would say. You also have these two characters, Kevin Garnett playing himself and The Weeknd playing himself. The Weeknd plays a little bit different in the sense that, yeah, he's this rap star, but he's also the connection to pull all these NBA stars, rappers, and everything to Howard's character to buy and sell their gems. And you probably would have this character in real life. So it's not much of a stretch because they're basically playing themselves, especially Kevin Garnett is playing himself 100%, no difference. But I think they played pretty well considering they're not really trained actors, so it's pretty cool. It also gives you kind of an insight of, you know, these NBA stars go from nothing and then all of a sudden they got millions and millions of dollars, especially if they get to the top, and they get this crazy amount of wealth and they're just blowing it on these really crazy gems. No sense of money management. Of course, they make a lot of money, so you know, as long as they stop before they get to the end, they'll have plenty of money, but you have this sense of like, you know, they're just throwing away their money on these gems. So that's kind of an interesting take on that part of the world. The other thing is, you know, Adam Sandler, I think he's a really good actor. I've seen him in one other film. It's kind of a serious romantic film, and he's really great in there as well. And I think because he did so many kind of goofy comedies, he's not really rated as a normal actor good, but he's actually a pretty good actor as well. I mean, he's not hurting for cash because he did all these comedies. I'm sure he made a boatload of cash, so it's like whatever at the end of the day. I'd rather be Adam Sandler, known as the goofy comedian, than not Adam Sandler. As Adam Sandler, the serious actor with no money, so you know, I'm sure Adam Sandler isn't unhappy with that, but it is kind of cool to see him develop as a regular actor versus kind of these goofy comedian roles he played in his, you know, his 20s, 30s. Yeah, and I think it was a pretty fun movie. Again, just minor tweaks I think on the editing would make this a lot better, but overall I think it's a pretty good movie. I would recommend it. If you want to subscribe, you can subscribe below. And I'll see you in the next movie review. Thanks for watching, guys.